Hey everybody, it is Emily Leach. I am the founder of the Freelance Conference, otherwise known as FREECON. So if you're not familiar with what FREECON is or the Freelance Conference, FREECON came from that original very first freelance conference back in 2014. People were like going, I love the name Freelance Conference, but it's too long. So they kind of gave it this nickname of FreeCon and it stuck. So we changed all of our branding and we are now FreeCon. So this is our very first annual virtual summit. Interestingly enough, our timing is beautiful that it landed right here in the space that we're in with COVID-19 and right on the precipice of states starting to open up and hopefully work starting to flow again for some of us that's lost it. But we didn't plan it that way. I can't take credit for that. We actually created this concept in November and started working through it, started to select speakers and pull it all together so that we would have something that everybody could attend opposite time of the year of the actual in-person freelance conference, which we're looking at our 6th year coming up this at the end of this year. But I have some really, really, really big news and some great big announcements. So I want to bring someone on to help me make these announcements. And if you're not familiar with her, her name is Laura Briggs. And here, let's bring her on. Hey, Laura.
Hey, good morning.
So I told everybody welcome and I let them know that there was some really big announcements and I wanted you to be a part of those announcements. So for those of you guys that don't know, Laura, tell them a little bit about you.
Yeah, I started freelancing in 2012, part-time as a side hustle, grew that into a six-figure business and left my day job. And so since then, I've been working in my freelance business as a writer, project manager, public relations person for authors. And I'm also working a lot with freelancers. I coach freelancers one-on-one and I sell courses and have a community and publish books on the subject. So we have a lot of in common interests as far as like lifting the freelance community up further. So I think we only officially met last year though.
Yes, we did some announcement somewhere somehow. I was like going, who was this? What's going on here? And so I started watching you. You may have already been watching me or started watching me, and then we started having conversations. And oh, you were nominated for one of the Freelancers Choice Awards.
Oh, okay. That might have, yeah, I remember having like a brief conversation with you and I wasn't able to come to the conference in person, but you and I just kept connecting. I interviewed you for my podcast, vice versa. And we just kind of kept the conversation going.
And that conversation took us to, every once in a while you have one of those crazy ideas where you're just like going, this is really kind of clicking. And you, like you said, you have a lot of stuff that in your space that like I'm doing and vice versa. What if we just combine forces? We both felt like we were kind of at our ceiling as two individual humans. We had done about as much as we could pull ourselves off the floor and do and lift up without some common support because we both love the work that we do. We both love the communities that we have. I am a little bit more in the event space. You're more in the course development space, which was also perfect. And so we did. About a month ago, we signed the paperwork and Freelance Conference now has a partner.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about it. Thank you so much for coming on board. So that's the first big announcement.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it because I think we both have the same goals of where we want to see freelancers be supported and the voice that freelancers have like around the country and all of that. But we also have really complementary skill sets. So there's a lot of stuff we have in common. And then there's also really complementary skill sets that we both brought to the table. And it's just been so cool to get to know you more and your goals and to think about how we could really impact a lot more people by coming together and approaching it that way.
And which is one of the things, you know my tagline, we are stronger together. And so that kind of boiled into this. On top of, we both believe that the freelance industry, for lack of a better term, really needs a place where the voices can come together, where we can be real engaged community, not just another community, if you will, not another box for people to kind of hang out in when it works for them, but a community that works for the community. So we call it more of a network and a place where people could connect, a place where we could connect people to potential work. I don't know about you, but a lot of it flows my direction sometimes. And I'm just asked to find somebody. In fact, I need somebody right now, but we can talk about that later. And on top of that, there's a lot of work being done at the policy level. I mean, we just saw that come out, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when the CARES Act came about. And that work was being done actually for months. I mean, the CARES Act just kind of came in right about that time. And so I've started connecting with some of these groups that are doing that work for the freelance space, but they've actually told me they don't have the freelance voice to back up what they're saying. It's kind of like can you imagine going to Congress, going to the Department of Commerce and saying, hey, we have all these people that need this. And I'm like going, well, who are they? Where are they? Well, really, they're there. So we could create that space. And when these humans need the voice, our voice, we could all be that. There's a place where we know what's happening and we can be a part of the work that's being done on our behalf.
Yeah. And I think freelancing is such an evolving thing, what it looks like. I mean, it's so different even from what it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And so being a part of that community where you can help describe what the future of freelancing looks like, the challenges that you're having, what we want even policymakers or just other businesses to know about us. Like, I think it's really important for us to be able to come together and have that united voice. And just like you said, I think that sometimes that is missing from other places where there's maybe an interest in supporting the freelance voice, but we really wanted it to be authentic. Like, this is a community that is built for you all and is there to serve you. And we're happy to help, spearhead it and cheerlead it from that perspective.
Yeah, it makes it a whole lot more fun when it's not being done. I mean, there's only so much energy in the well for any individual human. So I love the fact that I have your support. I mean, not just support, but I have your support. And we have some other team members, if you will, that are coming on board in the near future to kind of help us out as well, to round out the team. And the other things that we want to make sure that you know are what's staying in place, right? So we're pulling together, and we're not just taking everything in the very beginning and it's all going into one great big bucket. It may go there at some point in time in the future, but right now, for myself, everything that's underneath the Freelance Conference or FREECON umbrella, we are pretty much pulling together. So we have the Freelancers Choice Awards. If you're not familiar with that, make sure you go check it out. Of course, we have the Freelance Conference, which is this virtual summit is under that umbrella. The actual in-person Freelance Conference that usually happens in fall is under that umbrella. And then, of course, we're also launching the Mighty Freelance Network together. We started it as the FREECON.community back in November. That's been rebranded and really has a plan, if you will, and the energy and the strength. We both have podcasts. So I have the Freelancer's Guide to Life and Business podcast. Your podcast, I forget the name. I apologize.
It's okay. It's Advanced Freelancing.
Advanced Freelancing podcast. Both of those right now will stay separate. She will stay the awesomeness behind that. I will say what I hope is the awesomeness behind mine. But we are going to pull them underneath FREECON Radio. And so that will be launching maybe a little bit later this year. And then you have some courses, correct? And some coaching.
Yeah. So for now, all of that, if you're watching this and you're from my community and you're enrolled in a course, or you've thought about enrolling in an existing course, or have gotten one-on-one coaching, for right now, all of that is just staying exactly the same. All of that has pretty much been automated already, but that may eventually come under the umbrella of this. But for now, there's no major changes a lot of the content that we have been producing separately, we'll still be producing. It'll be related, but that you're not going to see our podcast drop off the radar or anything like that.
Yay. So that leads me to announcement number 2, which is I really want to dive into what is the Mighty Freelance Network and why the name Mighty Freelance Network.
Yeah, we felt that there has always been a little bit of a missing space in the freelancing world for people to have both the ongoing community where they can network with other freelancers, get advice, share tips and tricks, grow together, kind of that rising tide lifts all ships mentality, but also to get accessible and affordable training. So there's a lot of great materials that are out there that are more, they're either geared towards beginners, and so they're really inexpensive. But once you surpass beyond that, there's kind of a big gap in the market between that and something like one-on-one coaching or an expensive course. And we really felt like that's where there's a lot of freelancers right now, is looking for
a lot.
I'm in like the beginner to intermediate stage. I'm trying to figure out what scaling looks like for me. I can't really afford like a mastermind, or that isn't the right container for me, but I still want to have a community. I still want to have a place where I can get training. And so we brought that together in the Mighty Freelance Network. And I guess you can share a little bit more about what it's actually going to look like.
Well, it's got this really pretty teal blue. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes,
yeah,
true.
It does have teal blue because we both really love the color.
Yeah.
But so I love the name, the Mighty Freelance Network. So we're using a platform called Mighty Network. And I love the name of that because it really, to me, pulled in the energy of together we are stronger, right? We are stronger together. And so I kept like, man, I really just love the name Mighty Network, but of course it's used because it's the platform. And so I went, what about if it was the Mighty Freelance Network? And together we are stronger together. So with all that, then we started to talk about, like Laura said, the content. Yeah. And so right now there's 2 levels. There's a free level you can go join. Go join right now. Go to Mighty Freelance Network and go ahead and join that. We'll be right here waiting for you when you get back. Or do it when you get done with this. Either way is good. But there's also, we integrated a premium level. And premium is always a tough word to say because it feels like it's super expensive. I don't think that it is. So throughout this virtual summit, sorry, I had a little bit of a block there. It's actually going to be the entire year. Your first year is $97. I hope I got that right. And after that, it'll go back up to the $199 a year. Or if you're like, I don't have $97 right now, I really wish I could take advantage of that. It is monthly at $20 a month. Mm-hmm. So for that, you get full access to the entire replay vault. And what's in that replay vault is all the sessions from all 5 years of the Freelance Conference. And the sessions from this virtual summit are in there as well. And so that'll just continue to grow. So anytime you have access to that membership level, you have access to that. Laura is going to be building out content in there every single month. And there's actually 2 already in there. There was one on LinkedIn, how to leverage, I think, your LinkedIn profile.
Yep.
And then one on how to identify raising your rates and how to tell your client that you raised them. That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be an ongoing component. Like, you can always join the free community. So please join it today, because we want to see you in there and get to know you and really have this awesome free community too. But we recognize that there is a need for a greater level of support and training. And so a lot of the ongoing trainings that I have previously been creating for my own audience are really going to be directed towards the Mighty Freelance Network now. So once a month, we will do a training that will be applicable to wherever you are at in your freelance business. It will be a topic that's relevant to all freelancers. And then there will be, we'll pull out sections from it. This is more for beginners. And if you're more advanced, here's how you can implement these tips. And then we'll also have office hours with Emily. And then there will also be office hours with me. So if you want to ask questions, or if you're implementing something that you learned from the trainings, or you're just stuck and need some motivation and to get re-engaged, it's really going to be that perfect container for you to say, hey, I don't need private coaching, but I definitely want something where I can be held accountable, where I can get support, where I can be with like-minded freelancers who are looking to up level. And so that's really like what we've envisioned the Mighty Freelance Premium Network to be.
And at the free level, just to make sure you know that joining isn't just joining another something, there's also content being built in there. There's some tutorials. There is your Tech Tuesday. There's conversation that happens in there. We have a Let's Connect, which is a virtual event once a month where we just kind of get to meet other people that are in the group. And we highlight our members once a week and things like that. So right now there's already a lot of really great stuff that's happening in there. So like Laura said, we'd love to have you at the free level. And of course, we'd really love to have you at the premium level as well.
Yeah. And the premium level, we designed it kind of with an awareness of everything that's going on in the world right now. As a freelancer, we can't afford to stop, right? We still have to serve clients. We have to keep our business afloat and growing. And so this is a way for you to get that support where it is completely affordable and accessible for you. And so this is a founding member rate where if you sign up now, you will be able to, prepay essentially for the entire year and also get all of the awesome stuff in the replay vault and all of the virtual summit sessions. So if you can't make them all this week, you can get caught up on those. But that's really why we've set it up now. And that's the reason to do this right now. If you are thinking that it might be right for you to upgrade and get that additional level of support, because you're going to lock that in at an amazing price to be able to get 2 freelance experts who will help you with your business and all the content that we're building, and just an awesome, really high vibe community of freelancers.
Yeah, it's great. So just so you know how to take advantage of the $97 1-year price is you need to do it through the Hay Summit. You need to upgrade your ticket through the Hay Summit. Yeah. It's not currently on the website because it's only available to you because you got your ticket through Hay Summit. So that leads me to our third announcement.
Yeah.
And that is the Freelance Conference itself. What is happening with FREECON for 2020? So the big plan was for FREECON to be in Denver, Colorado, and it was scheduled for August 29th. I believe it's August 30th through September 1st, August 29th through September 1st. Obviously, I don't even know my own dates, but it's during that period of time. I promise it was. And so with COVID happening and all the shutdowns and everything, I just couldn't see us all recovering fast enough to feel comfortable traveling, to feel comfortable spending a whole bunch of money to go to a live conference. And conferences are expensive to put on, and sponsors are even also struggling to put the money on the table to make sure that it happens. And everybody wants it to happen in 2021. So the best way I could come up with, and then, of course, when I brought Laura on, I was like going, is this my only option, or do we have other options? And of course, we probably do. So here's the option that we decided on is the live event, the in-person event will happen September 14th, September 12th through the 14th. Those dates I do know. 2021 in Denver, Colorado. We already have the venue, contract assigned, money has been spent. That is in place. So get that on your calendar right now. And tickets will go on sale for that probably a little bit later in this year as we start to define the speakers and put all that together. So the dates that we originally had in August, that is going to become another virtual event. I'm actually going through a project right now, our program of how to create more networking and how to really build just an awesome virtual event that will combine and pull in as much as we can of what you would have experienced from the live event.
Yeah. And I think it probably doesn't come as a surprise to a lot of people that this decision has been made. We definitely wish that we could all be in positions where we're looking to those fall conferences that a lot of us like to go to and network at FREECON and beyond. But it just seemed like the best way to make sure that there was still that sense of community. There was still that, content that's being created that time of year to help you with your business, but in a way where we could just address it in light of everything that is happening in the world. And so we're really excited for 2021, but don't feel like the virtual conference this fall is going to be like the consolation prize and is going to be this watered down version. It's still going to be very action packed with a lot of great material and speakers and opportunities to connect with other freelancers. And it should get you excited for 2021 too, to meet some of those people that you connect with in person.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. If you have some thoughts and ideas of what you would like to see in another virtual event, I'd love to hear them because we are building from scratch. And so this would be a really good opportunity for